Hey everybody, going to do another tabletop review here. This time it's a Kabar. Well, it's another Kabar. This is the USMC, stands for the United States Marine Corps. This is a pretty iconic K-bar here. I think when you hear K-bar, this is probably what most people think of when they hear that brand. Pretty iconic knife. I believe it was first introduced during World War II for the United States Marine Corps. Even has the insignia there for the Marine Corps. And this is my particular knife. I was not in the Marine Corps, but I own one of these. You can see I added some little rubber washers on here. They're already starting to break apart here just to give it a little extra grip. But yeah, just going to do a little tabletop review of this one so you hear if this is something that you might want to add to your collection if you don't already have it. So let's take a look here. It does have its leather sheath on here. It's actually a nice leather on here. And I take care of my knives, so this is more like a survival knife, but I would say more of like a defense knife personally. I know that for many decades, the U.S. Marine Corps used this as a survival knife out there in the jungles and everything else. But I don't particularly see this as that for me. Not that I'm out in jungles or anything, but this is more of just kind of like by the bedside. If I need to do a hiya to a home invader or something, this is kind of like the knife that I have on the side there. Yeah, and I'll go over why in a sec here, but some specs, of course. So the total blade length, 7 inches, thickness, sorry, that's 17.8 centimeters, thickness, 0.165 inches, or 0.42 centimeters. The blade material is that 1095 Crovan steel that K-Bar is known for. It's a good, hard, tough steel. It's not super hard, actually. It is tough. There's a difference between being hard and tough. I guess we'll go over that in a bit. It does have the clip point on there. It is not sharpened. So, I mean, that is illegal in some states. If it's not in yours, you can go ahead and sharpen it. Be all Rambo with it. Rockwell hardness on this is 56 to 58. The overall length is 11.875 inches, so almost 12 inches. And that's 30.2 centimeters. The handle material, it says it's a stacked leather washers. It feels like wood to me. I mean, it doesn't feel like leather. It doesn't look like wood either, but that is what they say. It does feel cool in the hand. Now, the only thing I will say is that when it gets wet for me, because it's that hard, almost kind of lacquered material, it is a little slippery, and that's why I added these rubber washers on here. It's just a temporary solution. They're already starting to break apart and whatnot, and it doesn't help that they're cheapo washers either. But yeah, that's what I put on there. The handle length itself is 4.875 inches, 12.4 centimeters. The weight is pretty light, 0.7 pounds. That's 0.32 kilograms. And like I said, the sheath is leather, and the sheath weight is about a quarter pound. It's about 0.09 kilograms. So yeah, it's a flat ground blade. Makes it pretty good for like all-purpose blade for outdoor use. Clip point there, useful for piercing and doing fine detail work if you need it. The plain edge is ideal for slicing, chopping, ginsu, all that stuff. The stacked leather handle, it's comfortable. Provides a secure grip. It's a little slippery for me, but I tend to have soft hands. I've always have soft hands no matter what kind of work I do, which is really good for like sports like football and whatnot, but I don't have those super roughneck hands. So your miles may vary, and your meat hooks, they might feel pretty secure. I, on the other hand, needed these little rubber washers here. It is technically a full tang. It is a rat tail design here. So you'll see on the back here, you see that little point. That's how thin the blade gets at the end of the handle here. So there's no pommel to speak of necessarily. This pommel here, I guess you'd call it. It is held in with a pin. You could drive stakes in with this, but I haven't tried it. I feel like it would just kind of tilt and bend if you hit it the wrong way, if you hit it like on a side, if you don't hit it straight on. But it is a full tang. It's just rat tail full tang. And you could see that just the length of the blade, or I'm sorry, the width of the blade and the width of the handle is smaller than that. So yeah, like I said, this is pretty classic. It was used by the United States Marine Corps for decades, and it was built to be a reliable, versatile tool. Can handle a variety of outdoor tasks from camping, hunting, survival, self-defense, and it's got that rugged, iconic appearance that Kabar just has, and it's good for a collector, I would say too. This particular knife, if you don't have one, you should. I feel like when I was a kid, and my cousins would go hunting and stuff, some of them would carry one of these, and I always thought this was the coolest thing. It wasn't quite a Rambo knife, right? Because when I grew up in the '80s, and Rambo was really big. It wasn't quite that. It looked like what a real person would use. Not like some crazy, Rambo type of character. Anyways, what else we got here? So you got the full tang on there. You got the full flat blade. You got the little finger guard on here. Pretty thin metal. Does the job. But yeah, hey, it's got a long history of working. It was first introduced in World War II. And yeah, what else can you say about this? Now, talking about the 1095 Crowvan steel, it's not super hard. So the reason why I was saying I see this more as a self-defense knife as opposed to a, hardcore bushcraft type of knife is because one is the blade width is kind of thin. I think just a little bit bigger. I tend to like something that's, closer to like the 1/4 inch, not necessarily 1/4 inch, but closer to quarter inch, just because that helps with batoning, splitting logs a little bit. It could be used as a chopper. It's just very versatile. It's a jack of all trades, master of none type of knife. But in a pinch, this will help. It's helped the military for decades, right? It's a popular choice among enthusiasts and collectors. So is this for you? I would say yes. Definitely get one of these if you don't have one already. They're just cool. You know what I mean? There's very few knives that are just cool like that. And just to give you a little bit of a comparison, I'm just going to compare it here with the BK7, right? You can see a theme here with the BK knives. That's the BK7, Becker Kabar 7. And compare it here with the 9. Just going to put those at the blade length there. Let me put this a little further down, get those all in frame. Now you can see that the handle is a little bit shorter. It's almost on par like with the BK7 on there. But you can see the 7 is very much robust. Got that full tang design, thicker blade. You can almost think of this as like a evolution of the USMC Kabar, and then just the big old crazy Bowie, depending on who you talk to. I've always known it to be Bowie, but Bowie knife here. So yeah, that's what you're looking at there. I like all of these. If I had to pick one, like just one of them, if you're just going to get one, I would kind of go with this guy. Not for necessarily the functionality of it, but I think it just looks cool, to be honest with you. And even though the sheath is pretty basic, I think it looks awesome. I think it's just, it's simple. It's what you need. The retention is there. Doesn't give you the maraca effect. So your stealth could help for survival, help in hunting, and it just works. And it's leather, got the lanyard hole, it just works. So yeah, that is the Kabar USMC. Go get one. Oh, and by the way, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to help out a little bit, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I will reply to pretty much all the comments, unless they're just kind of rude or whatnot. But yeah, if depending on when you see this, if you see an affiliate link there in the bottom there, if you want to take a look at these, if you want to buy one, that helps me out a little bit, very little, but it helps keep the lights on, helps keep these lights on here to the camera. Yeah, you'll see that down there. Depending on when you're watching the video, that affiliate link might change just depending on who I'm affiliating for or whatever. But yeah, I get a little cutback, and it helps out the channel. So thanks.